This race is exactly what Formula One is. Close racing, intense battles, different strategies, and just an overall beautiful Grand Prix. I mean, who doesn't like the Singapore Grand Prix by looks? But the racing it provided, this new track layout actually surprised me very well. And the driving by every single driver really here today was just so impressive. From both Sainz to Norris to Hamilton to Leclerc, even Verstappen, it was just outstanding to watch all of these drivers. Now, there were the failures, there were the successes. Let's get into all of it. What an exciting Grand Prix. There's a lot to discuss. I mean, the biggest success being Liam Lawson. Give this guy a Formula One seat. Over Yuki, over Daniel, I don't care who you put in that seat. Give Liam Lawson a shot. This boy is it. As I'm speaking about Liam, let's just talk about what a fantastic drive by this guy. Finished P9, highest finish in an AlphaTauri this year. Lawson has now just exposed F1 rookies, big time. This guy's been in a car for what? A total of 10 sessions, 11 sessions? He was only in one practice for Zandvoort. He was only in, the 3 practices for Monza, and now this. So 10 sessions altogether. And this guy's doing this? You don't need experience, you just need talent like Liam Lawson to drive that car to its full capacity. This guy's definitely it, man. This guy's definitely it. But let's go over the whole entire race in general, and I'll obviously sprinkle in a little Liam Lawson and what it really means to Formula One. But the race starts off, we get a decent start, but really the places kind of stick together. I mean, Fernando made up a place, but other than that though, it was pretty stagnant. Max wasn't really going anywhere, but he was making up pace. Started on the hards, went for the alternate strategy. Leclerc went for softs, actually made a place up on George, and that gave them the 1-2. Leclerc was backing up George and Hamilton and everybody else in the back to give Ferrari a better chance at a win. So Leclerc was playing the team game. He was a little hesitant, but yet again, you got to commend Leclerc. He practically sacrificed his race for Carlos to win it, especially in the second half. And then the race kind of stagnated. It was a battle of strategy and who can really outlast their tires. We had Hamilton kind of back off for about 2 seconds, but then started catching up. We had Fernando back off for 3 seconds and wasn't catching up and was just kind of staying behind, which in my opinion was not the right call. I think you needed to stay a little closer and play the game. If you go for the safety car on the strategy, then guess what? If you're closer, you can actually win off the pit stops. But Fernando was so far off that it was a dead cause at this point. He was already behind then. And then Logan Sargeant ends up actually hitting the wall. Another mistake by the rookie, another he's literally ahead of Fernando, and Fernando had to pit 3 times, and the 3 times he pit were all garbage. So Logan, 14th, man, I'm sorry. Somebody's got to take that seat. It's Formula One, 20 seats. Logan's not that guy. He really isn't. Liam Lawson deserves it a lot better. Honestly, Liam needs to be in that seat, if anything. But regardless of that, he hits the wall, he makes it back in, and then for some reason, the FIA kind of delays it for 30 seconds and then calls a safety car, which I don't know why they did that. And that ends up screwing the Red Bulls because both Max and Perez were on the hards, which finally the Red Bulls get some bad luck. Finally. Regardless, this is what really made the race, because now it's oh, do you want to stick to the hards, go to the end, or do you want to stop the race? Because we had very soft compounds, so the tires were shredding up very quickly. And it made for an interesting battle. So Verstappen, Perez stay out, and their hards are not flaring up because they're already pretty old. They get passed. I think it's the first time in the season that Verstappen was genuinely passed by 4 people in a race. Was he even passed by 1 person before this race? I can't remember a time that Verstappen was genuinely passed on pace. The Red Bulls were not there because of the strategy. They're honestly, Red Bull is probably the L of the weekend. They played a good strategy there towards the end. It ended up working out for them, but they got a little bit lucky. They weren't really good this race, honestly. Max was the exception. He was great on his tires even when everything was going wrong, and he still almost made a comeback to the podium, which is pretty damn impressive. Max. What a guy. What a guy. It's also this crash, the debris falls into Fernando Alonso's suspension, so screwing his race really from the actual pit stop that he ended up having. By the way, the Aston Martin didn't notice this in a few pit stops. It's that one and the next one, they didn't notice this. Now, in my opinion, Fernando wasn't getting really a great race out of the car anyways. The car was much faster than it really presented itself. Still, Aston is falling behind. Like, I mean, I wish I wasn't even wearing this hat. I need something to save my hair right now, but this hat doesn't deserve to be worn. This Aston Martin team was abysmal this weekend. I mean, I'm talking about in qualifying, in the practices, in the race. Nothing went right for this team. I mean, Lance couldn't even go. I mean, apparently dude's like still injured from the crash. I mean, it was a significant crash. So glad he's okay. But like this Aston Martin weekend, take it off the list. Forget about it. Being an Aston Martin fan, this was a weekend to forget completely. Regardless of that, though, Formula One is Formula One, and I love everything. So I'm very happy to see Carlos Sainz a winner. But I need to mention Aston Martin. Fernando failed. The team failed him even more. The pit stop failed. That new jack that they had also slipped the car off. Horrible. Now we're getting into the middle part. And another safety car comes out because of, well, actually, it was a virtual safety car because of Esteban Ocon, who was racing stupidly well. Was behind Alonso the whole entire time. Made a couple of brilliant moves. He deserves a lot more, man. That Alpine is just whatever. I mean, Pierre finished 6th. Ocon realistically should have been 5th or 6th. I mean, I feel bad for the guy. Honestly, this should have been a way better race for Alpine. They were the better car than Aston Martin here today, so they deserve it. They really do. I know people are going to say karma and this, but Ocon deserved this race, honestly. Let's be honest here. That comes out, virtual safety car comes out. You see both the Mercedes go in, which I thought was the right call. Even Leclerc says, this is the right call. Let's go for it. Ferrari doesn't go for it. Now puts Leclerc on a worse strategy. But Leclerc did help out towards the end, so I get their thinking. Hamilton and Russell are flying through the field. By the way, in the meantime, Red Bull also pit both their drivers, so they were also on the alternate strategy, but they were a lot further behind. Also, Alonso pits, but that's to be ignored. He pits for softs, makes a mistake, still has that debris stuck in the suspension that nobody even cared to tell him about or notice, so good job, Aston Martin. You guys did a great job. Now that the strategies are twisted, we have about 15 to 16 laps of racing left, and the Mercedes are flying. And this genuinely, like, to me, has been the best part of the season. Just seeing those black cars under those lights, how they looked flying through the street circuit. Oh, it just looked awesome. On rails, those cars looked like. Even on the TV, you could see it. There were a couple of angles on the straight, the Singapore straight, like going into that new corner. The cars looked so slow. I don't know why they had that camera angle. It looked weird. But like getting them into the corners and really showing the throttle and braking, oh, looked beautiful, beautiful. But Hamilton was a lot faster. If I'm a Mercedes fan, I would be pissed because I think Hamilton could have won this race. And I mean, I think he could have won it with a lap or two remaining left. It should have been a Lewis Hamilton victory after a very long time. But the smooth operator came in. He actually was very smooth, very slick. Even the engineer questioned, why are you putting Lando in the DRS? He knew he was faster than Lando. Lando knew he was going to defend his buddy too, so there you go. You got a 1-2 between best buds, and they played the perfect strategy game. Honestly, had on the DRS, Mercedes was lacking there. George Russell makes such a critical error in the end, man. He's one of the L's of the weekend for me too, man. You can't make an error like that. He was doing so well. The whole weekend was so good. Qualifying, I mean, practices, the race, and he just crashes within the last, 10 minutes of the race. It sucks, but at the same time, it sucks even more because Mercedes had this win. I mean, I love that Ferrari won, but imagine if we would have gotten that last battle between Hamilton, Norris, and Sainz, even closer, actual wheel to wheel. That would have been so thrilling. Regardless, good job to Lando. I don't think he's getting commended enough for the drive that he's had. Lando actually saved the race for Carlos Sainz, which, I mean, I've seen on the same team, but still. Lando was great, P2, saved the tires. McLaren, this is a team you need to look at going into 2024. Honestly, they could contend with Red Bull. All their upgrades are looking up. They're actually making successes out of their upgrades. Now, Aston Martin is doing the opposite. They're making the car worse. They're pulling a Ferrari. Apparently, the car looked a little like a Ferrari in the beginning of the year. Now they're trying to make it actually feel like a Ferrari by the end of the year. So good job. Aston Martin is on a great run right now. But McLaren, congrats to them. Carlos Sainz, you have been the driver of these last 3 races. He has made the summer break. Wow. This guy has been outstanding. The driver of the second half so far, and by a quarter mile. It's insane how good Carlos Sainz has been in these 3 races. Congrats to this guy. Congrats to Ferrari. They absolutely deserve this victory. The strategy was played brilliantly. Leclerc defended it brilliantly. All in all, just a good race. Good job to K-Mag for scoring a point for Haas. He fought like a lion out there. He had his elbows bladed the whole entire time and made his way back through the field with another alternate strategy. Albon was so close to nicking a point, but did not. Lawson, like I said, exposing people like Logan Sargeant, Nick DeFries, even Yuki a little bit too, man. Liam is great. Liam is phenomenal. Perez, pretty decent race. Oscar Piastri, what a run by him. So many great drives, also so many kind of whatever drives. Bottas was nowhere, tried a couple of things. Russell, as I already talked about. Yuki, sad to him. And Alonso didn't have the greatest race, but a lot of really virtues to that. So I want to hear your thoughts down below. This was such an exciting race to even talk about and really get onto the camera and talk to you guys about. I want to hear it into the comments. You know, I respond to all of them practically. So let me know your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear everybody's thought process from this race. I know everybody must have had a great time. If you enjoy Formula One, this is what it's about. So let me know your thoughts down below. Please leave a like, subscribe. It'd mean the world, and peace.